Trafford, aiming now for the treble. Dean Bell and Sean Edwards, their joint captains, lifted the championship trophy. Then they lifted the Challenge Cup at Wembley, and now it's the Premiership here at Old Trafford. Third consecutive appearance in the Premiership final. It's their 23rd major final in 10 years. And the task that faces Castleford, their conquerors in the Regal Trophy final, is that of those 23 major finals in the last decade, Wigan have lost only 2. But Lee Crooks, runner-up in the First Division Player of the Year award, could well be the man, as he was in the Regal final, who turns the game classy Castleford's way. Martin O'Fire with 37 tries this season. 39 tries in Premiership football. 25 in just 8 Premiership appearances for Wigan. What a record. And the man who has to score at least 3 times to get a share of the £500 that goes to the top try scorer is St John Ellis. Mark Johnson in the second division final earlier today ran in a hat-trick of tries. St John Ellis now needs to go one better to take the top try score award on his own. The Wigan side: Aitchison, Robinson in for the injured Tuigamala, Panapa, Connolly, O'Fire, Botica and Edwards. Up front, no Andy Platt. Skerritt returns. Hall stays in place of Dermot. Cowie completes the front row. Betts, Farrell and Clark. On the bench, Joe Lydon and Mick Cassidy. The coach, unbeaten since he took over, is Graham West. Mike Ford of Castleford. Is he playing his last game for the Tigers? Known to be in discussion with Darrell van der Velde in Queensland, and also his contract here at Castleford is under review. The Stones bid a Premiership final, the last match of the season, and what a match this promises to be, with tackling like that from Castleford, who enveloped Phil Clark in the first moment of this match. Here's the Castleford team: Ellis, Smith, Blackmore, Tony Smith, Middleton, Steadman and Ford. It's the team that beat Bradford last week. Crooks the captain, Russell Sampson, Kettridge, Hay and Nick Howe, and on the bench Smales and Sykes. The coach of the year, John Joyner. Match referee, Stuart Cummings from Widnes. He had the divisional premiership under his control in 1992. Sean Edwards, his battle with Mike Ford will be so important. Kick downfield, into the arms of Chris Smith. Breathtaking try from the 18-year-old Smith at Odsal just a week ago. Richie Blackmore, nowhere to go with tackling like that from Farrell. Russell was the dummy half. Here's Andy Hay, first run from him, and the first high tackle of the afternoon from Cowie.
Little doubt in the mind of Stuart Cummings. Cowie swinging the right arm. Bang, straight into the second rower, and he fell that one. Both sides mean business. It's going to be a tough encounter in the opening stanza.
Neil Cowie looking ruefully over his shoulder as Graham Steadman deposits the penalty high into the stands here at Old Trafford. Castleford competing in this final, which completes one of their best seasons in their 57-year history. Richard Russell restarts. Kettridge, the man of the match in the Regal final. He scored 2 tries against Wigan that day. Lee Crooks had a huge game at Headingley in that final. Can he have a huge game here today? Russell gives it to Steadman. Nick Howe called for it. He hands it on quickly to Blackmore. Great tackling from Connolly. Castleford starting promisingly with Sampson running straight at Dennis Betts.
It's what Castleford would have been looking for. They realise if they're going to get and rock Wigan, they've got to get points early.
Kettridge grounded 10 metres from the line. Russell's the dummy half. Steadman called for that on the blind side. Little chip over the top. Aitchison's there, and Aitchison diffuses it and does well. And he diffused it behind his own line. It's a tap on the 20.
There was never going to be any doubt about the fact that Castleford would put the full-back under a lot of pressure today. But he bounced to it.
Robinson. He has been cooling his heels, injured and on the sideline in the shadow of Twiggamala. This could be his big stage today. Offiah to Edwards. Now to Botica. On to Clark. Farrell is there. Farrell running straight. Nickhouse after him. Gets the ball away to Connolly. This match has started so promisingly. These two sides look on top of their form. Panapa. Big prize, the Premiership. Edwards. Dennis Betts. Skerritt slips. And then he's dropped on by Blackmore. It's the last tackle this for Wigan. Betts the dummy half. It's with Edwards. Here's the kick. It's a high one. He was under pressure from Ford. And it's spilled by Middleton. And it's wrapped up by Nickhow. The ball went backwards. And St. John Ellis, the fullback, was there.
Didn't look all that confident when they went for that. Middleton made a meal of it. It bounced the right way for Castleford.
And Wigan tearing into the tackling here to keep Castleford penned into their own 10-metre mark. Andy Hay releases the pass into the arms of Offiah. He gives it to Skerritt. Skerritt! He was in touch. Stuart Cummins was about to award the try. The touch judge put the flag up. Skerritt, I think, collided with the post first.
Oh, but what defence from Crooks and Sampson. They really did get into him, and there was never any doubt that the touchline went over.
An escape for Castleford. Kettridge with the break. Good tackling by Farrell.
Oh, Smith couldn't believe it. If Kettridge should have released it, Smith was through the gap.
Crooks, the man who saved Castleford's bacon, releases Tony Smith. Tries to duck under the challenge of Panapa.
He's knocked on a Smith, just a little one. Phil Clark appealing to the touch judge that the centre had lost it, and he had. But what it might have been. Tony Smith was nearly in the clear there. Kettridge didn't release the ball.
Wigan with the possession from the scrum. Botica to Panapa. Panapa straightens up. 8 New Zealand caps, his 3rd consecutive final. Paul Aitchison, his 2nd final. Remember, it was his display last year in this match that prompted Wigan to release Steve Hampson. Robinson looks eager, looks hungry, but so did Castleford. That's a great tackle by Kettridge. Hall looks for Edwards. Edwards looks for Betts.
Good defence from Castleford. They're moving up. They're forcing Wigan to play one out.
Clark with the run. Good defence again. That's 5 tackles gone for Wigan. Hall looks over his shoulder, checks where Edwards is. He will hoist the kick. A diagonal effort. Young Chris Smith lets it bounce. Takes it on the 2nd attempt. Under pressure from Botica and Skerritt, but he gets away from Skerritt, but not from Botica 2nd time, and Connolly. Connolly hacks the ball forward. Has to play the ball. Perfectly legal. And then follows up with a great tackle on Blackmore. St. John Ellis, the dummy half. This match has started at 100 miles an hour. Fifth meeting between these two sides. They've both won 2. This is the one where something has to give. Edwards drops on the loose ball, and then Middleton drops on the Wigan scrum half.
Nickhow got the pass away, but I'm afraid Tony Smith couldn't take it in.
Aitchison scrambling, kicking out to try and get to his feet. Here's Botica on the halfway line. The Old Trafford turf is quite slippy. The grass cut not as long as at normal rugby league venues. And it's been raining here this morning. It's quite treacherous, the surface. Robinson's the dummy half. Clark. Robinson takes over again. Good chase by the Castleford winger Middleton. Andy Hayes all over Robinson. You have to be careful. Referee Cummins allows play to continue. Edwards. Good ball to Farrell. Connolly is there. Farrell takes it on his own. The current young player of the year. Just 18 years old. Edwards dabs the ball forward. St. John Ellis is there to read it perfectly. Gets away from Farrell. The Castleford flyer. gets away from Connolly. Good run from St. John Ellis.
Super football from the fullback. He positioned himself perfectly. And off he went. Nice step. And offside. Wigan too keen, moving up far too quickly. Graham Stedman quickly getting on with the job.
Good deep kick. It puts Castleford well into the Wigan territory. Here's Dean Sampson. And did he lose it, or was it stolen from him? It was stolen. Referee Cummins right there. No doubts.
Sam Paniper, the culprit. The big prop forward, Sampson. Appeal is to the referee. Cummins gets the penalty. Now then, will they take the 2 points?
I think Lee Crooks fancies a chance here. The sand bucket has appeared on the Old Trafford stage, and Crooks is going to have a shot at goal. This is his best season as a goal kicker. He lost in Premiership finals in 1982 and 83 with Hull. Another man today who hopes that this is third time lucky for him. Has played on the Old Trafford stage before. 1986 against the Kangaroos. He was sin bin that day and he kicked a goal. Can he get Castleford underway here? It's got chances and it's scored. 2 points for Crooks, 2 points for Castleford. Just the start that Castleford wanted.
That should calm the nerves. Beautiful kick there from the Castleford skipper. He knows how important those 2 points may be, especially late in the game.
And it will settle Crooks' nerves as well, Steve-O, for the kicking to come.
Well, he's been around a while. He knows what the pressure is all about. And he also realises that Castleford have to start getting points.
2-0 then, Castleford lead. John Joyner, their coach, the coach of the year. Sampson with the run. Castleford have started like they mean business. Connolly's all over him. Referee's whistle goes. Edwards pulled out for a high tackle.
Well, that's the second time that Wigan have lacked discipline. It was a missed swinging arm before that from Edwards. Referee allowing play on. It was no advantage to Castleford, so that's why he gave the penalty so late. But that's the second time, and it could be costly for them.
It's 4-0, the penalty count here in the opening 11 minutes in Castleford's favour. Crooks. He's had a big season at Castleford, Lee Crooks. Russell, Mike Ford. Good ball to Nickow on the diagonal run. Russell's there again. Here's Crooks. Into nobody. Middleton has to backtrack and pick up. And the ball went backwards, so the referee says play on, much to Jason Robinson's disgust. Russell, former Wigan player, of course, the Castleford hooker, and he's collared by Neil Cowie. Last tackle here for Castleford. Sampson from dummy half. Now it's with Ford. Here's Crooks, who will drill it towards the corner. That will find touch in goal, will it? Just. Jason Robinson waited an eternity, and the ball on the last roll just touched the whitewash. Martin afire.
It was a good kick there from Crooks, just at the last minute, right on the line, lines out. Well, Castleford have certainly got their tactics right. Good long kick into the corner.
Edwards, scampering run, met by Tony Smith. Hall to Betts, shrugs away from Smith. He's come back stronger than ever, Dennis Betts, in the latter stages of this season. Edwards on halfway, Botica, Paniper straightening up, through the gap almost. Connolly was there in support. Richie Blackmore, the man to bring Gary Connolly down. Boddicker at dummy half. Here's Edwards. Hoists the high kick again. A tester for Simon Middleton. Clark was after him. And as soon as the ball reached the Middleton, so did Clark.
Super kick, wasn't it? Great tackle. It's all about that pressure, and they're putting it on either side. They're using the kick intelligently.
Nice run for Castleford from St. John Ellis. Let's go downstairs. Tony Morrison, one of the injured stars, with Bill.
Tony, you're doing it just right at the moment.
Yeah, there's a long way to go, but as yet we've got the first 2 points on the board, and that's always vital against Wigan.
And you were also saying that keeping calm for these first 20 minutes and keeping in control is important.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of nerves out there, not just from Cass, but from some of the Wigan players as well. And the first 20 minutes is vitally important for both teams.
What's the Cass game plan for this one?
Well, as we've played them in the past, Wigan have always been strong. First 20 minutes, both halves, and we've got to contain them then, and hopefully our backs will do the business and get some tries on the board.
Sounds a simple game plan. Much more difficult than that, Steve-O, isn't it, to actually put into operation?
Yeah, it's all about keeping them down. They know that Sean Edwards is a key factor. They've got to prize him back inside, not allow him to control the show. It's a big job for Mike Ford.
Here's Kelvin Skerrett, 28 years young today.
A great tussle between Edwards and Ford. But with tackling like that, it is very strong.
The referee wants to have a look at the birthday boy. I think there's some blood coming down from Skerrett's forehead. And there it is. Whoa, dear me. Stray stud.
Collision with the heads, I think. I think Crooks went in there. Bad collision. Plenty of claret on the towel.
Well, he won't want to leave the stage, Kelvin Skerrett, but he might be forced to go in the blood bin, and there he goes. He doesn't want to go. Rules are rules. And if blood is evident, he has to go off to be patched up, and Mick Cassidy will come on for Skerrett. Try against St Helens in the first round for Cassidy. So it's a blood bin substitution. And the doctor has taken Skerrett straight into the dressing room, and no doubt he will be stitched up and then sent back out. So Skerrett off in the blood bin, Cassidy coming on. And there is first touch. Hall. Edwards. High kick again. Clark's after it. Gets the hand to it first. It's play on. It's on the last tackle. Cowie to Boddicker. They spin it out wide here. The fire's in space. Connolly going on his own. A fire couldn't keep hold of it. And it's play on with Mike Ford. But a good attack from Wigan and good defence from Cass to keep them out.
He did the right thing, Martin. The fire that came in off the wing, inside at the right moment, but he should have taken it.
Kettridge kept the ball alive well then. It was risky business. The fire thought the first try was beckoning. Ford, Nick Howe. Blackmore on his inside. Clattered by Betts.
See, they're taking a big gamble. That's the second occasion.
They're playing a lot of football in their own quarter.
They've pushed the pass in their own quarter, and that is dangerous.
Last tackle for Castleford. Great defence from Wigan, but only 15 metres from their own line as Stedman gives that some leather. My word, that's a great kick. That is a fantastic kick from Stedman. From one end of the field to the other. And now the Castleford defence is sound.
Super kick downfield there from Stedman. That really does relieve a lot of pressure off them. Very little wind out there today. No advantage to either side.
Hall the dummy half. Edwards, as ever, first receiver. Betts now will charge to the halfway line. Nick Howe on his back. Hall. Edwards switches the direction of this attack to Aitchison, the fullback. Clattered by Blackmore and Ford. It's a rigorous start from Castleford. Hall. High kick. Ellis is underneath it. He weighs the situation up. Comes straight to the fire, who stood his ground well. And the touch judge on wants a word with the referee.
Look at that
Ellis.
determination there. Well, he ducked the head. I think they're going to get Martin a fire for the swinging arm.
Martin Hall, the second man in, was the man picked up by referee Cummings. It's a penalty to Castleford nonetheless. But that picture from St John Ellis, it said it all, didn't it? More than 1,000 words from us.
He means business. It's been a fine start for Castleford.
Just have a look at this again.
I'm going through crunch time. But again, indiscipline from the Wigan side has allowed Castleford to get out of the danger zone. Their coach Graham West will not be happy. He'll have plenty to say.
Great run from Sampson. Russell's in support. And he was picked out by Aitchison. That was a good tackle from the Wigan fullback. Sampson's there again. Here's Crooks. Castleford examining this Wigan defence now. The run from Sampson has put them into this situation. Ford, Steadman. Steadman trying to get away, does so. And again, the pass inside to Sampson, who scored a try! Sampson started that attack, and Sampson's finished it, and Sampson's nodding. Sampson's doing a Sean Edwards with the nodding head, because he scored the 4 points.
Super combination with Mike Ford and Graham Steadman. They thought it was going to be a runaround, but in his steps, and Clark misses his man. He keeps it alive. Steadman steps. The support play there, and Wigan go high. They pay the price. The big fella went through, but this is where it all started. Ford, it looks as though he's going to do the run round, and Clark missed him. Steadman inside, but really, you've got to go low on this fellow, and he just pushed him off. That is a great try. Nod. I wonder who he's nodding that at.
I think they're having a little go at Mr. Edwards.
Never.
The perfect start for Castleford. Lee Crooks. The penalty earlier. They lead 6-0. If this slides its way over, the gap is 8 points. The underdogs lead. The champions trail 8-0.
You can see Clark is trailing Mike Ford. They think the runaround's on, but Steadman does a step, and it was enough for him to get into the clear. But it's all about taking your chances. The support play was there, but there were many questions asked about the defensive qualities of Wigan on that occasion. And let's hear it for the wooden tops again.
So Wigan restart with an 8-point lead to make up. Castleford have started so well. Remember that it was forward from Mike Ford in his own quarter to Hay, but the referee says play on. I'm just going to tell you that in that match that Wigan had to win to stay on course for the title late on in the season, Castleford led 8-0 that night, 12-0 rather that night, and then Wigan came back and won the match. Today they have to come from 8-0 down. But this is a cup final. This is the last throw of the dice, and this could turn Castleford's wonderful season into a magical season.
Well, it's the start that they wanted. John Joyner very quick to realise that Wigan have the power, so much strike power in their side, that you need a fairly big lead to at least feel comfortable. And that's a high swinging arm.
Yes, Phil Clark felt that. Nico coming in over the top.
The swinging arm there from the loose forward, Nico. And that indiscipline there Swung the arm through. No doubt in the mind of referee Cummings.
So the Wigan penalty deposited into the stands here at this magnificent Old Trafford Stadium. A perfect setting for the dream final that we have on Sky today. Cassidy with the run. Hall the dummy half. Edwards. He finds Botica. Panapa screen for that. Connolly wanted it, and if he'd have released the ball, Connolly was in. Botica. Betts. Wigan trying to up the tempo. Betts with a great run, halted by Russell. Hall at dummy half. Edwards. Here's Neil Cowie. Last tackle this for Wigan. 4 metres short of the line. Edwards. Botica. They're running it with Farrell. With Farrell. All the way. Farrell. Try! The young player of the year. With all the courage and all the strength of a true veteran.
The Castleford defence was caught on that occasion. They expected the kick from Edwards. He threw out the long ball, and Botica did the rest. But look at the size of this man. He throws the dummy, and I'm afraid that Nick Howe did not slide into the defence, and the strength gets him the 4 points. This is where they thought the kick was coming. They just held back enough. You'll see how they go into it. When the dummy comes, the sliding defence, Nick Howe's man, he misses him. The result, 4 points. Edwards, beautiful long ball. You can see how Botica runs at the angle. But look at the power of this man. Fends Nick Howe off and has enough strength to get the ball down.
A try now on 2 of the game's biggest stages. At Wembley 3 weeks ago and here today. Brano Botica, the point-scoring machine. Kelvin Skerrett is back on. That's bad news for Castleford. Good news for Wigan. Perhaps better news for Wigan on the way, with the top goal kicker in the big league. He doesn't miss many. 8-6.
You can see Blackmore is sliding out in the defence. That means that Nick Howe has to pick up the man with the ball. If you miss him, you are in desperate trouble. But the fend from the big youngster was enough. Excellent play.
So Andy Farrell, he is growing in stature in the game by the day. It's his 5th major final, and he's not 19 till the end of the month. Here he is again. What a towering player this fellow will be. What a towering player he is. Skerrett back out of the blood bin. John Joyner, Castleford coach, a player with Cass in the last team that lost the Premiership final against Hull Kingston Rovers 10 years ago. And the man of the match that day was John Doherty. Kelvin Skerrett picks himself up. 8 stitches in a gash to his forehead. They build him tough in the big league. Deep kick from Edwards. Oh, well taken, Ellis. Taking on a fire again, he's dropped it. Connolly's there. Connolly. Well, Ellis was there to rescue the situation, but now Castleford have got 5 tackles to survive. Still Connolly. They're 5 metres from the line. This is big pressure. What a mistake from St. John Ellis. Betts the dummy half. Botica trying to escape the clutches of Samson. He does. Can't get away from Kettridge. Hall. Edwards. Panapa hit that at pace. Brilliant. Panapa try for Wigan. The champions hit the front.
And it all came about from this bad mistake. You can see a fire's arm go into it. Ellis looks on in shock. spin the ball out wide, but what a beautiful delayed pass from Sean Edwards. Look at that. Stedman was at fault. He did not slide out. This man slid in. The delayed pass, little dummy first. Look at that. Express train. 6-5 special. 4 points. Notice how Stedman just hangs back, comes in and gets sucked into Edwards. The gap is there. 2 men went for Edwards. That opened the gap for that man to take the try.
Sam Panapa, New Zealand international. This is his 3rd consecutive final. And Frano Botica now with the conversion attempt from the other side of the field. Castleford established an 8-point lead. It has been wiped away in the last 3 minutes. Anywhere on the field, and Botica slides them over. Wigan ahead 8-12.
You can see how Stedman has moved into Edwards. It just allows that little gap. And who goes through it? See you later, alligator. That is absolutely superb football.
Sam Panapa's try, then Wigan have the lead for the first time. Substitute in the last 2 Wembley finals. He came on and scored tries. On from the start today, he scored another. Farrell, whose try sparked the Wigan revival.
It's amazing how many times do Wigan make the opposition pay when they have a big mistake, and that was a big one from St. John Ellis. Losing the football a yard from your own line is problem time.
Here's Botica. Richie Blackmore just stuck out an arm and managed to hang on to his shirt sleeve. Martin Hall, the dummy half. Phil Clark. Good tackling. Hay and Sampson in. Last tackle for Wigan. Edwards under pressure from Ford, so he gives it to Aitchison, who drops one over the top. Here's Ellis. The nerves probably just getting a little too much for St. John Ellis at the moment after that error that let Wigan in. Middleton, hat-trick last week. Boy, how they'd love him to score a try here today. Hay. Half break, support from Russell, but Russell was going nowhere. He was in heavy traffic. It's Wigan's first half so far in terms of possession, and it is on the scoreboard also.
Well, this Castleford side have to regroup. Got to get back into the match plan. Don't panic.
Here's someone who could easily get them back into the match plan, Lee Crooks. But it started so well for them, didn't it? It's gone off the rails in the last 8-9 minutes or so.
Bit of a wasted kick there from Mike Ford. He wouldn't be happy with it. Should have punched that well and truly right into the corner. Head and feet to Wigan. Well, they got the dream start that they wanted, did Castleford. But 2 big errors, a missed tackle and a drop ball, has put them in a lot of problems.
Edwards. Cowie. Took that pass standing still. He has to run flat across the face of play and then lost his footing. Hall. Farrell. Botica. Good tackling. Crooks was there, Sampson was there, Nick Howe helped out. Hall from dummy half feeds a fire. He gives it to Betts. .32 minutes gone. Wigan in possession again with Clark. Through Lee Crooks. Good job that Sampson was there. Little chip over the top from Edwards. Deep into the corner. Middleton will have to run this out. There's Edwards, the kicker, leading the race.
Excellent kick and chase on that occasion from Edwards. Wigan are now confident. Build it all the time. They appear to have got over that shock start when they were 8-0 down.
Ellis having a little chip at Martin Afire there as he picked himself up off the floor. Chris Smith managed to hang on to that ball, but Castleford are playing risky football in their own quarter. We have, and that's a penalty to Castleford, which will relieve all that pressure. I think for the use of the knee, yes, by Neil Cowie.
Well, it's all right, the referee pointing and saying to use the knee. Get him in the sin bin. Look at that. They can put a player out for the entire game.
Cowie stays on. Wigan ahead by 12 points to 8. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, what a bonus we have for you with the first State of Origin, live and exclusive tomorrow at 10:30, repeated tomorrow night at 7. And then Wigan go to Australia for the World Club Challenge against the Broncos, a week on Wednesday, the 1st of June, 10 a.m, repeated 9:30. So the season is not over yet for Wigan, even after today, not by a long chalk, and it's not over for us either. We're all down to London tomorrow for that State of Origin. And that, Steve-O, if our viewers like this game rough and tough, it comes no rougher. It certainly comes no tougher.
Sure does. All I can say is make sure that the sofa's not too near the television set. Stand well back. It's all fire and brimstone.
Not too far back, though. Edwards to Robinson. Hall, the dummy half. Skerritt, that was a forward pass. Skerritt is not debating it. Clark to Connolly. Connolly gets through Blackmore, but slipped as he was closed down by Nick Howe. Clark is there again. Here's Betts. Betts just over the halfway line, releases the ball to Hall. Here's Phil Clark running straight.
Having a big game is a loose forward, Phil Clark. Really is running just wide of the rucks.
Farrell. Oh, Botica through the gap. In the corner. The smile says it all.
Demolition time on this occasion. The try scorer earlier, now the try maker. It was a superb pass from the big fella. And Frano Botica slides in for 4 more points. Superb play. Watch the skills. He just holds the ball up at the right moment. He sucked in Stedman. The gap appeared. Demolition time.
An incredible 410 points for the season for Frano Botica. The man who holds the goal-kicking record in the Premiership, 10 out of 10 in the 1992 final. He's kicked 2 out of 2 today, and he keeps making life even more difficult for himself. He's going further and further to the margin. He's now just a foot in from touch on the far side. Remember today, there's no Andy Platt, there's no Dean Bell, but this Wigan machine keeps on ticking along. Top goal kicker for the second time in 3 years, but not even Frano Botica could convert that one. It's 16-8 Wigan. We're at Old Trafford in the Stones Bidder Premiership final.
I'm afraid that it's Graham Stedman that is at fault again. You can see how he gets sucked into it, and that is an enormous gap. He came out of the line, he went too quickly, the gap appeared, and Botica did the rest.
Graham Stedman restarts. They're starting to sing on the terraces. Robinson from dummy half. Wigan have hit Castleford with 3 tries in 11 minutes. Farrell, Panapa and Botica. And a match that started so brightly for Castleford. Edwards, Panapa. Last tackle in this set of 6 for Wigan. Edwards drops one over the top. Nicow read it. Well, he's looking round for a bit of support, is Nicow. Nobody there. Blackmore. And is Graham West, the Wigan coach, about to win his first trophy? He's only been in the job just over 3 weeks. Not only is he going to win his first trophy, perhaps, is he about to cement himself a contract for next season. Andy Hay. Last tackle for Castleford. They're still in their own half. Stedman just foxes Edwards, steps inside him. Left-footed all the way down to the Wigan try line, and Robinson now will try and run it out. Jason Robinson, 12 tries this season, but only 1 try since the turn of the year. Clark, he slipped a couple of times as the Wigan loose forward, but he's had quite an influence on this first half. Panapa, so has he. Cowie. Hall. Here's Skerrett. Releases the pass to Hall. Gives it to Clark. Long ball to Botica. Castleford a bit short of players out wide here. Betts with the soccer skills, but Nicow was alert to that danger.
Well, I'm not so sure that the coach Graham West would have been happy with that. They were looking for a kicker to get downfield. Little short kick through there was well read by Nicow. That ball should have been well and truly booted downfield.
Russell to Crooks. Good ball inside to Tony Smith. Good tackling by Botica. Stedman. Ford. Nicow. Blackmore is outside him. Ellis is inside him. Just couldn't get hold of that. And Ford couldn't touch it because he was standing in an offside position. O'Fire couldn't get to it. Ford got it back for Castleford. Long ball to Sampson. Sampson taking on Skerrett and Hall.
Well, that was panic football from both sides when the pass was never on.
Over a minute of stoppage time played in this first half. A half that began brightly for Castleford, but ends with Wigan in the ascendancy once more, leading 16 points to 8. But Castleford, what they would give for a try now, and Crooks is trying to drag them further towards that Wigan line.
Well, this is where they want to put on a planned move.
Ford, think over the top. Aitchison's after it. Aitchison's there, and Simon Middleton was right behind him. And there is the half-time siren. Castleford so close. Aitchison, watching it, looked out of the corner of his eye, saw Middleton, said, "We'll have that." Out of play, and it's the last moment of this first half. Sam Panapa, one of the tries that Wigan have scored. It was the try that put Wigan back in the driving seat by 12 points to 8 at that stage, after Botica had kicked the goal. Botica then added a try. It's 16-8 at half-time. The Stones bid a Premiership title from Wigan. The Regal Trophy winners had an 8-point lead, and Lee Crooks was leading by example, but then for Castleford the wheels began to fall off. It's only 8 points. It's not irretrievable, but Wigan are in the mood to win the treble. St John is losing not only the Premiership final, but he is also losing out as the game's top try scorer at the moment. And he needs to repeat that hat-trick feat, because Mark Johnson of London Crusaders managed the hat-trick in the second division final earlier, and he now has 43 tries for this season, and St John has 40. Been a great season for Ellis and for Botica. 410 points is Botica's personal tally in this season for Wigan. So the Stones Bidder Premiership final has 40 minutes to go, and Wigan, the champions, are ahead by 16 points to 8, and it will be Wigan who will restart. On the threshold of the treble, Botica's kick lands in the arms of Nicow, and Nicow will run it out straight into the welcoming committee of Cowie, Hall and Clark. Last year's Man of Steel is absent today because he finishes his contract with Wigan tomorrow, and he refused to play in Brisbane in the World Club Challenge. So Graham West sticks with the side he hopes to play against the Broncos. But Andy Platt is talking now with Bill.
Andy, after a sticky start, it's been a very impressive Wigan performance.
Yeah, I think, you know, we've been playing well the last 4 weeks, and Castleford came out. Well, I thought we started quite well, but they got the try that they were looking for, and you know, we looked at it as if we were going to be in a bit of trouble. The guys just kept sticking at it, you know, and doing what they know the best things to do, and they've come back and they've come back well.
The pace of the whole game hasn't relented, has it? It's been ferocious stuff.
Well, I think that's the way Castleford want to go. I was listening to Mike Ford's comments on week last Friday, and they said, you know, you've got to stay with Wigan as long as you can. I think they've tried to, you know, up the tempo and stay with Wigan's the pace of the match as Wigan set in as much as they can.
Robinson with the pace now for Wigan. Good run from him, and it had to be a good tackle from Mike Ford to stop him, and he just delayed Wigan enough for the Castleford defence to marshal itself. Edwards with a little scamper forward. Wigan aiming to repeat their feat of 1992 when they won the League Cup and Premiership treble under John Money. Now they're under Graham West, but Kelvin Skerritt's under Kettridge and Nicow. Connolly's the dummy half. They left a gap behind him. Connolly's after it. Did he get a touch to it? Referee says he didn't. That was a close one to call.
Good play by Graham Steadman on this occasion. He just gets a fingertip to it. Woof! How close is that? Good play by Connolly. Is in fine form.
He's had a great season. This is his third consecutive final in this competition, by the way, but it's his first for Wigan. Let's go back and hear more from Andy Platt.
And Andy, I suppose this is mixed emotions for you today, missing out on this, but also it's a farewell.
Well, it's not a farewell because we're not playing, but yeah, I mean, you know, I can understand, you know, the club's point of view. I'm not bitter about it. I understand, you know, that they want to play the side that's going to play next Wednesday against Brisbane. So I understand that, you know, but disappointed because obviously I'm not out there with the guys.
But we wish him farewell, and I'm sure that Wigan will say thanks for a job very well done to Andy Platt. Even without him, Wigan remain a force, ahead by 16 points to 8. And Castleford must score quickly at the start of this second half to give themselves hope for the latter stages. Ford with a little chip over the top. Edwards read it well, and Edwards managed to gather the ball in.
Got back well, didn't he, Sean Edwards, in the sweeping role. Well, that's the type of tactics that Castleford have to look for. Pretty solid defence is Wigan's. The short kicking game, that's how he can break it down.
Well, Edwards, an intense character, but he lives, eats and breathes this game. He is the consummate professional. Such an influential figure on this Wigan side. New 3-year deal. The ink is not yet dry on the contract, and I'm sure that Wigan and their supporters will breathe a sigh of relief about that. Dennis Betts takes Andy Hay on, and he's still standing, and he's still moving forward. He thought about releasing the pass to Hall and then thought better of it. Hall in at dummy half. Edwards That's Botica. Back to Edwards, who will have to kick it. Oh, well, he could have been a soccer star. I don't know whether Aitchison could with a kick like that, because Nickau is in possession now. He's given it to Tony Smith, but the Wigan defence comes back and marshals itself and sorts itself out to quell out the danger.
Excellent play, though, by the loose forward to Nickau. Took the ball on the run. And Castleford really have to throw everything at them now.
They are doing now with Hay. Botica jumped for him, but the ball came back off the chest, apparently, or the hand came back off the chest from Botica. It's play on. And Chris Smith angry at the challenge from Botica. Penalty, Cass.
Well, an unusual lack of discipline there from Botica. You see him push him down. Don't often see that from Mr. Cool, Frano Botica.
So it's a penalty to Castleford, which they have elected, and I think wisely here, to kick at goal. So Lee Crooks, Castleford's 100% man, with the goal kicking today. This is a long-range effort, though. He's just 12 metres inside the Wigan half, and it is a difficult angle for him from that range. Anyone can kick them, though. The big fella can. It's got a great chance, but I think it's faded, and it has. As the ball left the mountain of sand, the Wigan crowd behind the posts let out a really relieved cheer. Quick drop out from Andy Farrell into the Castleford quarter. A ball run out now by St John Ellis. Russell, the dummy half. Ford. Nickau through a big gap, and he feeds Smith. Tony Smith. Great tackle, Aitchison. Mike Ford. Kettridge. Snared by Kelvin Skerritt and Neil Cowie. Russell to Crooks. Crooks just lost his footing as he straightened up then. Here's Russell again. Now Mike Ford. Nickau hit the ball at pace. Nickau thinking of releasing the pass, but Hall completes the tackle. Russell in there, the dummy half. Stedman, high kick. A tester for Aitchison. Ford's after it. Aitchison comes up with the goods. He had a great game 12 months ago, and he's been faultless so far today.
Unbelievable take there from the fullback Aitchison, under a lot of pressure, and someone is going to be in the sin bin.
Stedman was trying to stop Wigan taking a quick tap on their own 20-metre mark, interfered with the man in possession of the ball, and the referee, Stuart Cummins, no option.
Professional foul, that's what they call it. There you see it, intercepted the pass that was going to go to Martin Afire, who obviously was thinking about racing downfield. And talk about applying pressure to your own side. Castleford down to 12 men.
That could have been a penalty against Kettridge for the flop. Kettridge down, Castleford down to 12, as you say. Brave decision from referee Stuart Cummins in a final, but a correct one. And Robinson wants to get on with it. Hall to Edwards. Botica misses out. Cowie finds Connolly. Connolly with the pace, but that's a good tackle, and it had to be from Blackmore, and the ball has come free, and it wasn't stolen. Touch judge on the far side, and Connolly can't believe it. It's the touch judge's decision, this.
Pretty hard to see there what's happened, but I think he did lose it. It squirted out, impact as he went to the ground.
Here's Andy Hay. Russell to Ford, to Tony Smith. Castleford down to 12 men, but trying all they know to get back into this match. Down to 12 men for 10 minutes, that's all. Stedman's in the sin bin. And Panaper is just holding Kettridge up. He's running a risky line with the referee Cummings, who obviously knows where the yellow cards are. Ford. Crooks. Straightens up again.
Crooks was looking for a runner there, but there was no one coming.
Here's Ford again. Little dab over the top from Ford into the corner. Young Chris Smith's after it, and he got so close. So close there, Chris Smith. Stole in as Wigan were waiting for the ball to run out of the field of play.
Well, they took an eternity, didn't they? Frano Botike couldn't believe his eyes. Neither could Martin Afire. And the youngster nearly got in there for a shock try.
I hope you're enjoying this Premiership final today, along with 35,644 inside this stadium. Another great crowd for the big league's big day of the year here at Old Trafford. It grows in stature year by year this day. Fabulous setting, fabulous entertainment, beginning with the Academy in the morning. I won't spoil your enjoyment of that final next Sunday, but do not miss it. By the way, Castleford have made a change. Let's get the details from Bill.
Ian Smales, a winner here last season with Featherstone in the divisional Premiership final, has come on wearing 14 for Castleford. Off has gone Martin Kettridge, who I don't think was that pleased to be substituted, but Castleford certainly aren't out of this contest, and if they can find the spark to get them back into it, then all hope is not yet lost.
Indeed not. There's Ian Smales. 14. Panaper is having one wow of a game.
There you can see the Wigan defence moving up quickly. They're forcing Castleford down that centre.
Here's Sampson. He's grounded on the halfway line. Now Ford. And Nick out straight. Ooh, and he looked around for support. It bounced off a Wigan leg. Neil Cowie's for mine. It's down to 0 in the tackle count. St. John Ellis is there, but can go nowhere. Martin Hall round his ankles. Cowie upstairs. So another set of 6 here for Castleford. They're certainly turning the screw.
Changing the tactics now, Castleford. They're running at the angles, and that's what they've got to do.
Sampson round the corner to no one. Robinson's after it. Middleton is quick enough to retain possession for the Tigers. Here's Smales. Good tackle by Robinson, that. Helped out a bit by Betts. Last tackle here for Castleford. Ford clips one over the top. Ellis is after it. And Aitchison is there. And Aitchison does well.
The idea was there, but it was good positioning from the full-back. Really read that well, did Aitchison. Look at that. Anticipated the kick.
Skerrett running hot. And the Wigan contingent, Wigan Marler, Dean Bell, Billy McGinty and company watching on. Best seats in the house. How much they paid for them? Connolly. Clattered by Sampson and Crooks. Edwards. No chance for Chris Smith to get through those two. Here's Ellis. No way through for Ellis. Now then, I mentioned that Academy. It's next Sunday at 7:30 in the morning. Leeds Wigan. It was a cracking match. I'm not going to spoil your enjoyment by telling you the result, but if you can, don't miss that one. So Wigan in the second final today, the big team in the big league. Dumped to the ground was Andy Hay by Dennis Betts. Mike Ford. Trying to gain territory, that's all, and it bounced straight into the arms of Robinson.
Castleford finding it a problem now to get through this strong defence. You're going to have to start changing their options a little bit. Use a little kick, not wait until the last tackle, try to just catch Wigan napping.
Wigan have made a change. Neil Cowie has been withdrawn by coach Graham West, and on comes Mick Cassidy, who came on as a blood bin substitution earlier on. Cowie just taking the tracksuit to keep warm if he's needed. The fire going nowhere under that challenge from Blackmore. It's the last one, and Edwards under pressure, but he still manages to get himself out of trouble, and then clips a good kick downfield. Oh, and Ellis has to pick up behind his own posts. Skerritt's arrived, but Skerritt was offside. Well, Skerritt saying he was way behind the line and I gave him the 10. But referee Stuart Cummins will have none of it.
Skerritt was trying to say perhaps that he'd given him the 10, turned round. As you said, Eddie, Cummings, the referee, not happy with it.
Well, the penalty was actually taken from about 9 metres from the posts, and as you could see, Ellis picked the ball up about 4 metres behind the posts.
Bit of an elbow there. I think Mr. Cummings may have to have a few words. It's getting a bit naughty.
Sampson, I think, is the culprit picked out by Skerritt, who wants to continue the debate, and he is wagging a finger at the referee, and I rather think that somebody is on his way to the sin bin here, because Mr. Cummings has gone for the back pocket. And he wants a word, I think.
There you can see the elbow from the man carrying the football, and I think he may go. I think this is going to be a red one.
No, it's a blood bin. It is red, but it's the Red Cross. Skerritt in the blood bin for the second time, and he doesn't want to leave the stage without debating the issue further with Sampson, and he is far from happy. Kelvin Skerritt believes that somebody in the shape of Sampson has used an elbow on him, and he has certainly been in the wars.
Well, this was very bad in my book. Look at that. And you can see the big prop forward. It's malicious in my book. And Mr. Cummings perhaps hoping that Mr. Skerritt won't return to this field.
Well, I would think so, because it's getting very hot indeed, and the referee now wants a word with Sean Edwards, because that was payback time for Dean Sampson, and the two skippers here have been brought together by referee Stuart Cummings and telling them to calm it down. This is a showpiece occasion. We do not want anything that would detract from what so far has been a magnificent contest, but it is a penalty to Castleford.
Well, as you say, payback time, but there was nothing wrong in that in my book. Just a straight tackle, a gang tackle. Oh, dearie me, it's a big poser now for the new Wigan coach, Graham West. Does he bring back Mr. Skerritt?
Nobody wants it. Betts will have it. Botica will have it. Betts gets it. Blackmore stole the ball from Betts under the sticks. Referee says play on.
Well, it could have been given a penalty there. Blackmore definitely pulls the ball out. Castleford on the rack. But the moment there when the ball was loose, there wasn't a Castleford player looked as though they wanted to drop on it. Ooh, it's simmering. Watch for the pot to boil.
Well, Kelvin Skerritt, who's got 8 stitches in a head wound, is now on his way to the dressing rooms again, as Simon Middleton is clattered by Panepa and Clark. I think perhaps he's calmed down now, a little smile to someone in the crowd. But it was a nasty collision with Sampson, let's put it no worse than that. And it has certainly upped the temperature. That's a lovely ball round the corner from Crooks to Tony Smith. Oh, that was a swinging arm from Aitchison.
come on, referee, someone's got to go. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. An attack to the head. You send someone to the sin bin for a professional foul. It's about time you send someone for a foul.
He's pulled out the Wigan fullback. He's not gone to the pocket for a card yet. But that was a high tackle that stopped Castleford in their tracks. Not only an attack to the head, Steve-O, but a professional foul to boot.
I just can't believe it. The inconsistency with the many whistleblowers. The crowd are chanting for blood. What do you expect the players to be doing?
Penalties 10-1 in Castleford's favour. An unbelievable penalty count against Wigan. Here's Ford. Now Middleton. Andy Hay. Clattered to the ground. Well, this is rough and tough. It really is. Big prize up for grabs today. Stedman. Wrapped up by Botica. Castleford contingent are over in that corner. Their supporters. They're watching this with bated breath as Crooks drives the ball in. He stopped 3 metres from the line. It's the last tackle for Castleford. They need a try here.
Good opportunity for Castleford while Wigan are losing their cool.
Ford dabs it through. Did it touch Aitchison? It did.
Neat little kick through there from Ford. The pressure is on. The crowd don't like it, but it's the correct decision. Nice kick from Ford. Well weighted.
Well, I don't think it touched him.
Plenty of controversy in this match.
Farrell drops out up to Middleton, who'll run it back. And not far. Wigan came streaming up to chase that drop out. Russell to Ian Smales. It's Castleford's half in terms of possession, but it's 16-8 as it was at the break. We're in the last quarter of the match. Ford stops and then gives it to Nicow. Oh, round the corner from Nicow, off the chest of Andy Hay.
And he'll play the first knock on. No advantage there to the fullback Aitchison. But a chance gone begging. You can see the ball hits the chest of the big second rower, and Hay could not grasp it. The chances are there. You've got to take them.
Aitchison running the ball out of the danger zone. Edwards to Panapa. Panapa straight at Smith. He has run as straight and as true as I've seen him, Sam Panapa. He's had a big game.
Sure has, and he must be in the reckoning for the man of the match, surely.
Farrell brushes away from two. Stedman was there, Middleton was there, and it took Tony Smith's weight also to bring the big forward down. Forward pass from Clark.
Well, they've lost the cool Wigan there. They've got to start slowing things down. Quite clearly.
Now then Kelly threw that ball away.
Sean Edwards having a quick word with the prop forward, saying, come on, we need discipline at a time like this. 8 points lead is not a buffer zone that they want. They want more.
Ford, Stedman, Ellis. Not many get past Gary Connolly. Castleford ahead on the handling error count as well as the penalty count. Look at Connolly, playing like a man possessed. Crooks. No one can turn it. For Castleford, it's Lee Crooks, or it's Mike Ford. Sampson charged onto that. Last tackle that for Castleford. Russell, Ford, over the top. Just clips it into the corner. We'll hope it doesn't go out, and it doesn't. Robinson collects it. Ford has led the chase, but Robinson's got the legs. Makes good progress, the Wigan winger.
Builds your confidence when you've got a winger that can take it back over the quarter line.
He's had to play second fiddle recently, hasn't he, to Igamala, Inga the winger. Robinson, I know, itching to get onto this stage today to remind us of what he can do. Season that started so brightly for him with that two-try Great Britain debut at Wembley. Then he got injured soon after that. Then they signed Igamala, and Robinson seemed to fade from the picture. But he's back with a bang today. Back on centre stage. Edwards. Botica. That's a good kick. Ellis. Can't get away from Connolly.
Connolly's defence today has been excellent. But you can see how that Wigan side move up. They force the side into playing one-out football so often. And the time is ticking away. It's getting to the point where Castleford are going to have to start gambling. Forcing the pass even a little bit more.
Ooh, and it was a good job that Richie Blackmore could stretch out those long arms and bring that one in from behind him. Andy Hay, the dummy half. 4. Blackmore was directing him then to have a go down the touchline. A fire made the tackle. Not the best pass. Ellis is under pressure now. He's got away from the fire though. Left-footed downfield. Aitchison's underneath it. It's almost like he positioned himself knowing where that ball was going.
It was a poor kick there from the fullback, Ellis. He wouldn't be happy with it, rightly so. It's right down the throat of Aitchison. Wigan will be quite content just to soak up the punishment, bring the big forwards on. Safety first is their key. Drive hard, use the kicking game. Botica and Edwards.
Clark. Good tackle. Russell and Ford. Panapa the dummy half to Edwards. There's Panapa again. Oh, still going Panapa. He's got to be a contender for the award as man of the match today. And no wonder Kelvin Skerritt, by the way, looked angry with that challenge on Dean Sampson. He has got a suspected broken jaw. He's on his way to hospital. That is the worst possible news for Wigan and for Skerritt. No wonder there was feeling out there on the field when that happened.
Well, that'll be a bitter blow to Wigan's chances in the World Club Challenge. They certainly needed a character like Kelvin Skerritt in the forwards.
There's Sampson round the corner from him. Tony Smith couldn't hang on to it.
Well, you can't blame Cass. They've got to start doing things like that. Taking the risk. And when you do the risk factor, the mistakes are going to come fast and furious.
Wigan will go to that World Club Challenge now without their 2 first-choice prop forwards this season, Platt and Skerritt, if it is a confirmed broken jaw for Kelvin Skerritt.
Well, this is where Wigan should be driving towards the post and going for the one-pointer.
Remember, of course, it's Kelvin Skerritt's birthday today. Happy birthday, Kelvin Skerritt. You've got a broken jaw as a present. Penalty to Wigan for stealing the ball in the tackle.
Quite clearly, Mike Ford the culprit. Sean Edwards quick to run to the referee and say it was reaped out. Desperation sakes now for Mike Ford in Castleford. The minutes are ticking away. They're looking a bit dispirited. It's not surprising when Mr. Cool, Botica, is lining up this penalty.
Yes, I think even you, Steve-O, would put your mortgage on Botica sliding this kick over. It will just stretch the advantage to 10 points. This Wigan team, who have missed out on the Premiership playoffs just 4 times in the past 20 years. A wonderful record of consistency. Botica with the 2 points from the penalty, and it's 18 points to 8, and just a little bit more daylight now between Castleford and Wigan, courtesy of Botica the boot.
You can see the Castleford heads go down as the ball sailed right between the two uprights.
From the kick-off, Cassidy collects it. Panapa, the dummy half, to Hall, to Robinson. Scampering run from Robinson. Clark gets the ball away to Connolly, who dances away from Blackmore's challenge and gets away from Sampson. But Hay and Sampson in the end finish him off. 10 minutes exactly on the watch now of the 93-94 season, and it's Wigan ahead 18-8 on the verge of this treble. Champions, Challenge Cup winners. The Premiership was next, and the Premiership at the moment is on its way to Central Park. Here's Cassidy. Cassidy inside the Betts, and Dennis Betts behind the posts. His incredible run of scoring in this end-of-season competition continues. And Dennis Betts' try must now, I think, have won the Premiership for the champions, Wigan.
Little doubt about that. Cowie kept the ball alive, and the super sub, Mick Cassidy, he's the man that makes the break. The ball back inside to Botica. You can see Smales missed it. He used the hooker, Martin Hall, to its fullest effect. Took that well, didn't he, the second rower? Dennis Betts gleefully clamps the ball down, and the Premiership surely is going to the cherry and whites again. It's all about keeping it alive, and when this guy is in the mood, off he goes. Nice step. He beat the substitute, Ian Smales. I thought he'd messed it up, but the end result is the 4 points anyway.
1 in the first round against St Helens, 2 last week against Sheffield Eagles, 1 at Old Trafford for Dennis Betts, and Botica makes it 4 from 5 personally and gives Wigan the decisive edge as we approach the end of the season and the end of this Premiership final. Castleford 8, Wigan 24.
He's had a fine season as the substitute, Mick Cassidy. And here's the reason why the try came. The inside ball from Botica. And once he steps there, look at the agility of the man to go around Smales. He should have passed there, in my opinion, but as I mentioned before, the end result, and that has to have sealed the game, surely.
So Steadman restarts. I think now it's a lost cause for Castleford. They've made a change, and so have Wigan. Bill?
Well, Sam Panapa, who has had an absolutely sensational game, scored a try, of course, and has been involved in just about everything else that Wigan have done, has come off, and he's been replaced by Joe Lydon. And for Castleford, off has come their skipper, Lee Crooks, who's worked valiantly to try and keep them in this game, and on has gone young Nathan Sykes. And in fact, Sam Panapa just taking a quick slurp, and he's joined us now. Sam, congratulations on a tremendous performance. You must be delighted with that.
Yeah, I am very pleased how it's gone for me all year, really. I think this game really sums up my season, and I'm glad that we almost turned Castleford over.
And do you think that Dennis Betts try really seals it for you now?
Yeah, we grinded it hard in the final quarter, so that try sort of rewarded us for that effort, so it was good.
And I think the fact that Kelvin Skerritt is on his way to hospital with a suspected broken jaw just about sums up how fierce this game has been.
Yeah, I'd like to see the replay on that. It's unlucky for Kelvin, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
And what about you and Wigan? This sort of performance can't surely do you any harm?
Yeah, well, you know, I just play the game. I love playing the game, and I'm glad I'm with Wigan, and I hope I stay.
Yes, he's a man out of contract at the end of this season, once they return from the World Club Challenge in Brisbane. Much talk about Panapa moving on. And what's more, as we've been tipping throughout the afternoon, Sam Panapa is man of the match. And he picks up the Harry Sunderland trophy, and that is richly, richly deserved. As he says, it sums up his season. It's been a wonderful season for Panapa. Castleford keeping things going through Ford, former Wigan player. There he is, man of the match, Sam Panapa. Well done, an excellent 80 minutes work. And he enjoys the fact that he has been selected man of the match, I'm sure. Now then, the length of the fielder from Martin Afire. I wonder. No, not with Tony Smith there.
Well, the smiles on the Wigan faces now, and rightly so. Joe Lydon, the substitute, making his contribution. It has been a wonderful season for Wigan.
Yeah, the treble. Championship, Challenge Cup under John Doherty. Premiership under Graham West. Names changed to protect the innocent, but nothing alters on the field. 4.5 minutes of this season to go. It ends with Wigan lifting another trophy. Ellis will collect it. 8 meters from his line. Gets away from Edwards this time. Betts and Botica bring him down.
Kick and chase game by Wigan in the second half has been superb, but their defence has been the key. Castleford have been snuffed out. They've tried everything, tried to get Nick Howe running out wide.
That's better from Castleford. Here they come again. If he can keep his feet, Chris Smith could score another breathtaking try, but not with tackling like that from Lydon. There's a good run from the youngster. Ball inside for Dean Sampson. That was a forward pass to Nathan Sykes. He's given it. I can't believe that, but the referee says it bounced off the head of a Wigan player. Nathan Sykes with the try, but the touch judge is on. In fact, both of them are on with their touch flags held high. Something happened in back play. Mike Ford was clattered, but the referee has given the try, so it must stand. And he's now gone to his back pocket.
The big question is which colour is going to come out. There's Ford, and there you see Edwards uses the elbow. Now then, it came off the head, and therefore it was play on according to the referee, and rightly so. But was it a forward pass though?
Well, it was in the build-up. Steadman slots over the conversion for the extra two.
Well, it was a forward pass for mine, but he got away with it, and it's something that he'll remember for many, many years.
And it bounced off his head. Well,
you won't take it away from young Nathan Sykes, that's for sure.
Indeed not. And Stuart Cummings is the boss, and he now wants a word with Sean Edwards for the incident that happened off the ball.
Well, this will be interesting, and there it is, an attack to the head.
And he's in the sin bin. There's the try for Sykes. And Sean Edwards will play no further part in this match. Now, interestingly enough, it was a yellow card, I'm sure, that Stuart Cummings produced, and Edwards, for a moment, was heading towards the dressing room. As it is now, he'll come onto the bench, because he will certainly be leading Wigan up the steps to lift the Premiership trophy, but it ends sourly for Edwards because of this.
There's the swinging left arm. Ford went down. Well, controversy reigns supreme today.
24-14, it looks a lot more respectable for Castleford now. Wigan 10 points to the good. We enter the last minute of this scintillating season that we've had, Steve-O. It has been, from start to finish, the most excellent season for a long, long time.
There's been some superb football played by all the teams. Spectacular tries, the big hits. But when it comes down to the crunch, they are so strong, aren't they, Wigan?
No doubt about it. Phil Clark pulled up here for the flop, so it's a penalty to Castleford, who will keep this momentum going if they can right to the final siren. But you're right, Wigan, when the big money is on, although it didn't happen in the Regal final against Castleford, it must be said, but when the big money's there, Wigan generally come up to the mark.
Well, they take their chances, don't they? They don't need many. They know they can post them.
Andy Hay, covered by Connolly, but he still managed to get the ball away to Blackmore. This is Stedman, they're under the posts. Oh, don't tell me there's a comeback on here. It's 18-24.
And they've rushed to get the ball so they can convert and get on with the game. Beautiful play out wide. The big second rower. And Hay got the ball back inside. Blackmore did the rest. Back on the inside there, and Graham Stedman has set this Premiership final alight. Don't put the glasses down yet. Not surprisingly, Wigan are taking it very, very slow. And let's not forget, there's been quite a few incidents, and the game has been stopped on more than just a couple of occasions. That's the conversion. So we will have plenty of injury time. Can Castleford do it?
That's the big question. We're in stoppage time now. A minute played. It's now in the hands of the timekeepers and in the hands of Castleford. We thought they were playing out for respectability. Castleford now believe they're playing out time with a chance of pinching this Premiership. And look at the scoreline they killed.
Well, they've just got to keep the ball alive, take the gamble.
And they want Lee Crooks to come back from the dugout to lead by example from the front. Here's Stedman. Suddenly this crowd has found its voice. And there's some excitement as we come to the end of this season. It has bubbled along all the way through. Blackmore keeps the ball alive brilliantly. It's with Ian Smales. Round the corner, it was Nathan Sykes who couldn't hang on. Aitchison. Well, what drama is left in this Premiership final. 4 points the gap. Robinson in possession for Wigan.
They'll just play tight, keep it cool, run from dummy half.
Martin O'Fire in possession as Lee Crooks prowls up and down the touchline, wants to come on. Castleford have got it back because there's been a mistake by Wigan.
Oh, and what a big mistake from Cassidy. The nerves are tingling. Wigan down to 12 men. It's got to go out wide. They've got to stretch this Wigan defence.
Lee Crooks has come on and Andy Hay has limped off. So the captain's back to lead from the front.
There can be barely seconds remaining.
Ford gets the ball away. Hit Blackmore. There's support there from Sykes, but the ball was dropped. It's a knock-on. Castleford had to force the pace. There's the siren. Wigan win the Premiership. But Castleford credit them with taking them all the way to the final siren. Nathan Sykes' try really did set the comeback on course. But Frano Botica, with his try and goals, make sure that it's Wigan's day, and Dennis Betts has had a big Premiership with tries in every round. Wigan then win the treble. Champions of the First Division for the 5th year in a row. Challenge Cup winners at Wembley for the 7th year in a row. Premiership winners at Old Trafford on their 3rd consecutive appearance in this showpiece final. And let's go down to join the Wigan captain, Sean Edwards, with Bill.
Sean, that was some ending. Were you just getting a bit anxious as Castleford came back late?
I was very anxious because you know, I didn't think I should have got sin-binned after what had gone on previously in the game, but that's rugby league, and I was very anxious at the end, yeah, very, very anxious.
I think the fact that you're sin-binned, Kelvin's on his way, or probably at hospital by now with a broken jaw. I mean, that about sums up the ferocity of this game.
Well, it did, but a lot went missing, was missed what went going on, and I think we did well to win under the circumstances.
Castleford got off to a flyer. It was just like that game at Central Park at the end of the season, wasn't it, when they went ahead and you had to come back?
Yeah, I think we showed a lot of bottle. I said to the lads at 8-0, I said, if we don't score now, it's going to be like another Regal trophy. And we hit back with 2 quick tries, and I think that did the damage.
And now, bring on the Broncos.
Yeah, we've got a couple of days off now, then we're going to Australia. Particularly for me, it's been a bit of a sad week, but a good ending, because we've got mate of mine died this week, Kenny Simmons. I'd just like to say a big yo to all the boys in the club, and give me respect to Kenny and his wife, and his family, Kenny's family.
And Sean, congratulations.
Well, this is what Wigan have won, the Rugby Football League Premiership trophy. The red and white ribbons on the gleaming silver cup that will end up at Central Park. Now we have Dennis Betts to talk to.
Dennis, yet another try. As you were saying on boots and all just this week, your season has come good at just about the wrong time.
I don't know about the wrong time. It's just great to play, great to score like that. Put it down to all the lads who worked really hard today. And at the end of the day, winners are greatness, and we've won 3 trophies out of what people call as mediocre season. It would have been pretty good if we'd had a good season, really, wouldn't it?
Well done.
And he's drenched in champagne. The celebrations have started already. Sam Panaper, by the way, the first Kiwi ever to win the Harry Sunderland Award as man of the match, as Sean Edwards leads this Wigan team up the steps to receive the Stones Bidder Premiership trophy. An important moment for Edwards, yet another piece of silverware. The most decorated man in the game, and the Premiership is Sean Edwards and Wigan's. Andy Farrell at 18, a huge future ahead of him. Martin Hall, what a deputy for Martin Dermott. Gary Connolly, the man of the match. Sam Panaper, out of contract. He'll surely be back at Central Park next season. Botica, the boot. Joe Lydon, the substitute, taking his full part in the celebrations too. Great display. Great season. Another one for the history books. And Jason Robinson's season ends on a high. Steve-O, tremendous team this is. Personnel changes on and off the field, but nothing alters on it.
It's all about the depth, isn't it? Whilst other teams get close, they really just can't take over. Such a great squad, so many injured, but yet the depth keeps coming through. They unearth the players like Andrew Farrell, year in and year out.
But of course, for losers, for winners, there has to be losers. And Castleford have contributed to this magnificent big league season. And Lee Crooks, for the 3rd time, picks up a loser's medal in this competition. Runner-up in the First Division Player of the Year poll. Runner-up here today. Another loser's medal in the Premiership for Lee Crooks. But Castleford too, Steve-O, have had a great season. They and Bradford Northern have been as close as anybody to toppling this Wigan side, along with Warrington, of course.
Well, they had the glory, didn't they, in the Regal Trophy. And they had their chances. They got off to the dream start that they needed. But I'm afraid, against a side that just makes you pay so much. A couple of mistakes, a couple of missed tackles, and you're gone. But full credit to them, a disappointed Castleford side. I think that they know that they had the opportunity. They had Wigan on the rack early, but I'm afraid the counter-punch from the Central Park mob was excellent.
The officials received their medals of commemoration too. Moments of controversy during the game, but at the end of the day, it's Wigan who again come out on top, and the players want Graham West to join them for their celebration photographs. There he is, Graham West and BJ Mather in the suits, Chris Butler, the conditioner, in the tracksuit, and the Wigan team celebrate their Stones Bitter Premiership. Big smile from the new man at the helm at Central Park. Has he done enough to secure a chance at the job full-time? Wigan then win the Stones Bitter Premiership. They have beaten Castleford. They have won the treble. They've had a marvellous